The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for your financial success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. If you would like to reach out to me, you can call 631-647-4694, or themainstreetcode.com is my website. And you're listening to Neil Himmelstein, and I'm here every Friday at 3 p.m. And when we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. And we work with hundreds of advisors and clients across the United States with complex insurance issues and simple insurance issues in the areas of life insurance, annuities, long-term care, and disability insurance. And we represent every insurance company. We do not favor one company over another. We never charge for a consult. We're here to help you, and we make money when you buy our products. And if we can help you in those regards, we have a lot of attorneys that reach out to me, and accountants when they have a complex situation or they want me to review policies. And I strongly recommend that you regularly review any of your insurance policies as well as your investments, because it is an important part of your portfolio, whether it be life insurance or annuities, disability or long-term care. You should always have them renewed and reviewed because things change. Big announcement yesterday. I don't know if you know about it, but if you're on Social Security, you will be getting an 8.7% raise in January 2023. That's huge. The biggest increase ever. That's to help you keep up with inflation. If you're on Social Security, you are getting an 8.7% raise. The government also just cut Medicare Part B costs, so that if you're a senior and you have Medicare, hopefully, and you have Social Security, you just got a raise. And isn't that terrific? And a lot of people ask us questions about when they should take their Social Security. And if you're turning 65 or you're 62, when do you want to turn on the taps? Well, even without this bump, if you wait, let's say from 62 to 70, every year you wait, it's another 8% higher payout. So the longer you wait to take your Social Security, the bigger the payout is. And that's because as we get older, there's an allowance, and there's an inflation allowance built into Social Security. So if you can wait, we recommend you wait. If there's a gap in income that you need, sometimes we have strategies that can help you fill that gap with some of your other money to fill that income gap. Quite often, we'll buy an immediate annuity to cover that gap. So there's a lot of strategies when it comes to planning for your Social Security and planning for your retirement, as well as once you're in retirement. The other thing that we've been talking about for months and months, and I just was talking to a benefit plan administrator, is the annuity payouts that you get if you have a pension that your company is offering you, or your own company, and they're going to offer you an annuity payout, an income stream. And you have to make that decision. That is an irrevocable decision. And what we're finding today, because of the high interest rates, we can do better than your pension can do by reaching out to us. We can protect it, and we could increase that monthly income significantly to you for the rest of your life. Guaranteed. And if you're about to retire, it's so important to have that income to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay your car bills, to pay whatever. People forget that once they're retired, they're not having a paycheck, so they have to rely on income. And on another note, as the Treasury keeps raising the rates, effective today, we are now going to see annuities paying as high as 5% guaranteed. Now, if you're retired and you're worried about the market, or there's two types of people. One, they sit on a big boatload of cash and they hope nothing will ever happen. They call that rainy day money. That rainy day money, if it's making 0 or 1% sitting inside a bank, you need to get that money to work for you. If you can get a guarantee of 4 or 5% and not pay taxes on it every year, you can sleep better knowing that you're going to have more money later to take care of you for the rest of your life. So if you're one of those people that are sitting on money, waiting for that rainy day, there's ways of utilizing that money. Yes, you should have 6 months of emergency funds. Any planner will tell you that. But after that, it's almost excessive if it's sitting there in 0% money. Now, if you're one of those people that are in the market heavy and you're in this stock market and you're concerned, you darn well should be concerned. Because as they raise the interest rates and as these fixed incomes become more accessible, why risk your money if that's money you need? Take some of it off the table. I'm not saying all of it. Take some off the table and put it into some fixed assets. A fixed annuity is a great way to go because you don't get taxed on that money as it grows until you need it. What a great way of saving. You can't do it in a CD. One, will pay higher rates. Two, you can't do it in a treasury. A CD will tax you every year. A savings account will tax you every year. An annuity grows tax deferred until you use that money, and it compounds year after year. Your money will compound $1 on top of another dollar on top of another dollar. And that's why it works. I'm not saying all of your assets, but on a portion of your portfolio, you should have an annuity. It's very important to protect your income, whether it's for your income or whether it's for growth later on to help you combat inflation and to save that money for yourselves and for your loved ones. And if you complement that with protecting your money with long-term care insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, you are insulated from all the crap that goes on in the world. And believe me, there's a lot of it. We all see it. We all know it. The world is a very turbulent place. So I like to work with products that are sleep at night. And very important that you have that level of comfort. We don't do any investment products, but your plan is never set it and forget it. Remember Ron Popeil? Set it and forget it. Well, guess what? You can't set it and forget it. As the market changes, you have to have all your stuff reviewed and make sure everything is running efficiently for you. Whether it's your finances, your portfolio, whether your risk tolerance changes. We talked about that last week. If your advisor has not taken a temperature on what your risk portfolio is, what your risk tolerance is, whether the market goes up or down, if you don't have a temperature on that, then you're with the wrong advisor. They have to do that every year. You have to do that every year. You have to reach out to your advisor and say, hey, I'd really like to look at this. Also, you have to have good asset allocation. You've probably heard that before. What is asset allocation? Very simply, you could be all in tech stocks, all in blue chip stocks, all in this stock, all in growth. You need something of everything. It's called allocation. And what happens is your allocation goes out of whack because when the tech stocks go crazy and go up, something else is going down. When one market sector is going up, another market sector, so you have to have a balance. Well, you're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. My name is Neil Himmelstein. I can always be reached at 631-647-4694. I know you got lots of questions. There's lots of things going on out there. Please reach out and see me or go to my website, themainstreetcode.com. I do have lots of these things on YouTube video. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. So in case you miss an episode, you can always catch me there. We'll be right back. Thanks. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Once again, I'm Neil Himmelstein, and you can always reach me at 631-647-4694. You can listen to me if you miss a broadcast on Apple or Spotify or right here at 103.9 every Friday at 3 o'clock. We like to keep it fresh and keep it alive. And we talk about with a lot of attorneys and accountants, and I've had a lot of discussions today with a lot of different people that have reached out to me on various issues. And before the break, we were talking about fixed annuities with interest rates as high as 4 and 5% right now. It's never heard of. When I started doing this radio show 2 years ago, I didn't even want to talk about it because we were at 1%, 2%. Now we're at 4 or 5%. So if you have money, or maybe you have some old annuities that are sitting around that are paying 1%, why don't you renew them at a much higher rate? So give us a call and we can do that for you. Very important. There's another type of annuity out there called an index annuity. And I talk about it because the market's down right now. And there's something called fixed index annuities that people are not really looking at, but they should be right now. Because what an index annuity does, it will follow the stock market, but if the market doesn't do well in the next year, you're guaranteed usually 1% or 0%, depending on the price. Most of them in the state of New York are 1% guarantee. So even if the market goes blah next year, you still get 1%. But if the market does good, boy, you get to participate in it. Maybe you can get 6, 7, or 8%. That's how they work. So there's a lot of opportunity for your money right now. A lot of people are running around scared because they're watching the market and they're not sleeping. And we like to help you sleep at night. We want you to feel comfortable. There's enough going on in our lives that we want to feel comfortable. Now, today, I was sharing a story with some people that people don't know this, but I used to wholesale gummy bears. Gummy bears and candy. I used to import them from overseas and sell them by the container load. And gummy bears are a blind item. Everybody's a blind item. What the heck is a blind item? You know what a blind item is? I would sell these gummy bears to people that would rebag them. So guys, they'd rebag them and put their label on it and sell it to the supermarket. And I call it a blind item because you'd go in, you want to buy gummy bears, and you see the label, and you don't know one gummy bear from the other gummy bear. I do, but you don't, because they're blind. But I compare that to a life insurance policy. You look outside a life insurance policy, and a lot of life insurance policies today is sold as a commodity. Oh, I can give you this for $100,000. I can give you this for $500,000. But what are you getting? You're getting a little bit of a black box. And what do I mean by that? There are inner workings inside every life insurance contract that differentiate every contract from another. So you may have a $500,000 term policy from XYZ company, okay? Or a $500,000 term policy from some other company. What's the difference? Well, one might have living benefits inside that if you have a chronic illness, they'll pay your death benefit early. One may have convertible features that says, you know what, if I'm sick later on or whatever, I can convert it to my health that I am today when I buy it. So some may not be convertible. Some may be convertible. Some may have disability waivers. I have a client last week that called me who had an insurance policy on her husband, and he was in hospice. And last month, they decided they didn't have any money, and they cashed it in. Oh, wow, oh, wait. Well, we just got the check. I said, don't touch that check. I looked at the policy. There was a terminal illness waiver in it where he doesn't have to pay forever, and they would have given up $100,000 by picking up a $2,000 check. Thank goodness the attorney called me. The attorney happened to be the brother of the woman. He says, would you check into this policy for me? I don't like to check in when it's too late. Then we have other people who've reached out to me that, oh my goodness, my policy's going way up in price. And they don't realize they had a conversion feature in there. And their conversion is up. They're turning 65 or they're turning 60. And their price is going from $300 a month to $3,000 a month. They go, wait a minute, I can't afford that. And what do? They'll drop it. But call me. Because when you see that big jump, usually your term is coming due. And sometimes you can convert it to a permanent policy without taking any medical or anything. And if you were in great health when you got that policy, you have it now. For the rest of your life, you can convert it. That's a huge, huge feature. We do it every day. We convert policies when people are later. It's sort of like buying a hedge on your own life. You know what? I'm 30. I'm buying term insurance now because it's cheap. And I got $1 million term. And all of a sudden, I'm turning 50. Now I have 2 kids. Now I got a mortgage. Now I got colleges. But all of a sudden, last year I had colitis, or I had this, I had that, I had a little cancer thing. And you know what? My insurability is not looking so good right now. Hey, I can convert that policy at that super health you were when you were 30. But if you don't call me, you're either not going to be able to afford it, or you're going to let it lapse, and you spent all that money for nothing. Zero. You get a big zero. Nobody wants a zero. Everybody wants a hero. We still protect our families. Everybody's selling on TV, term insurance, term insurance, term insurance. Do you realize how much term insurance actually pays out? 1% to 2%. That's it. 1% to 2% of all term policies actually pay out because most people either outlive them, the policies, or they drop them, or they change them at some point. Only 2% of them actually pay a claim because they're not talking to an advisor. They're buying the cheapest thing they could find. And how cheap was it if you spent $1,000 a year for 20 years or $10,000 a year for 20 years, and on the 21st year you have absolutely nothing with no cash and no death benefit, no nothing. So all these TV ads you hear, I got cheap term. Oh, call this one, call that one. I can insure you for $15 a month. Guess what? Insurance is only good if it pays a claim. Period. Otherwise, you got a worthless piece of paper. So let us look at your insurance policies. Let us make a determination for you. Let us advise you of what the best thing to do for you is. Now, many of you have great advisors. You have an attorney who you love, or you have an investment advisor, or you have an accountant you love. But if they're not all on the same page, that could lead to disaster for you. That's like building a house and having somebody do every different part and expecting them all to work together. When you're doing financial planning, you need all the different pieces, but you want them working together. If you need a team of people watching your financials, a team. If you don't have a team, call us. We can help put a team together for you. Not everything we do is about insurance. Sometimes it's protecting your insurance. Sometimes it's putting together a buy-sell agreement, getting the right attorney, having that insurance to back it up, making sure the accountant knows what it is, making sure we value a company. All these components come in. I'm the expert on the insurance side, but I have the expert resources that work with me to make sure your plans, whether you're a small business, big business, family, it's all important that you have the right protection so that everybody is comfortable. Well, you're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I can always be reached at 631-647-4694. I encourage your comments. I encourage your thoughts. I encourage your prayers. And I pray for everybody. And you can call me at 631-647-4694 or reach me at themainstreetcode.com or catch me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or every Friday at 3 o'clock. Thanks. Have a great weekend, everybody.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.